Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends beyond the binary. It's time for a podcast. What can I say, Mom?
You did perfectly, buddy. Yesterday, Adam Grant posted a question on Twitter. What's the worst career advice you've ever received? Monica Lewinsky responded, a White House internship would look terrific on your resume. And oh my God, I felt that. Hi, this is Coach MK, and this is the Morning Mantra.
Hi, my name is MK Fleming. I'm a run coach based in Denver, Colorado. But this isn't a podcast about running exactly. Don't tell my clients, but we're never really talking about the running. When you know a craptastic event is coming, it helps to have a mantra to keep you centered and focused as you move through it. You don't have to be an athlete to be #coached and loved by Coach MK. And if you are here, then you are #winning at life.
Today's mantra is punch up. Punch up. This morning, we recorded a way too long podcast, which I then linked to way too long show notes, connecting the dots between the way we perceive three powerful women, as well as our relationship to ambition and power and bullies. One of the women in question is Taylor Swift. I'm a die on this hill, you guys. Look What You Made Me Do never had anything to do with Kanye West. That's too convenient. And to be honest, it's way too petty. Why do we want to believe that she is petty? She's over 30 years old and by all accounts a brilliant businesswoman with a solid team around her. She knows she isn't 15 anymore. Do we? I firmly believe that the tilted stage in question in that song was the one she was standing on in Washington, D.C. in July 2015 that famously malfunctioned. The one the head of her record label made her stand on. Yeah, Taylor's dad was on the board of the label, but at the time of its sale 2 weeks ago, he only owned 4% of the stake. The head of the label owned 60%. 60%, that is a lot of ownership, no matter how you look at it. That is a lot of control. There are reports of him slowly asserting that control, and eventually that extended to creative control over Taylor starting back in 2012. Smaller artists on the same label started to jump ship around that time. If he can do that to Taylor, what's he going to do to me? Taylor Swift is a unicorn. Her rise, her completely unprecedented rise, changed a small independent label into the biggest in Nashville, and changed Nashville as well as the country music industry forever. Meaning, everyone watched in horror as the biggest act in a generation, a talented songwriter with unprecedented control over her own work and an ownership stake in her label, slowly lost control of her own product. The most powerful woman in music still has to answer to a man in a suit. That man owns her masters, and he doesn't have to sell them to anyone he doesn't want to. It's kind of the final fuck you. If you haven't been following the story, Taylor published a post on Tumblr 2 weeks ago and was immediately accused of bullying the buyer, of sending her millions of fans after him on social media. The buyer wants to remind you how big Taylor's following is, that they want you to think that she is petty, that she's a bully, that she's rich, she's still got fans, she's gonna be fine. She has a huge platform and she is anything but powerless. Stop and think for a minute about that. She is, by all accounts, a powerful and wealthy woman. I don't think she would disagree with that. And the best she can do is send her fans to swarm someone's Instagram with snake emojis? That doesn't sound powerful to me. And I don't believe they're actually concerned about her audience converting into an angry mob. It's all about you remembering that she isn't weak, that she has power. That's true. But having power in general does not mean you have power in every situation, that you have enough power when you need it most. This country has a long history of fighting for the underdog, of looking at people in power, people who abuse it, and saying, stop. That is referred to as punching up. Taylor ain't perfect, and she shouldn't have to be. In this situation, By speaking up, she is punching up, and I am here for that. So, the mantra. The next time you see a powerful woman reduced to a petty narrative, stop and ask yourself what you are really seeing. A woman can be rich and powerful and petty and correct and be deserving of criticism and still not have complete control over her work, much less the way her story is reported. She can be problematic and still have a point. How we react to this situation matters, especially if your kids like Taylor Swift music as much as mine do. If we aren't willing to critically evaluate this before rolling our eyes and deciding to write Taylor off as petty and our own worst enemy, are we being mature? Or are we being bullies? Are we participating in the bullying, saying it doesn't really matter because she's more powerful than us? Is that really okay? Is that what we want our kids to do? If you must take a shot at a fellow woman, please punch up. Don't kick her when she's down, especially when it isn't your fight in the first place.
You are coached, you are loved, and you are winning at life. And you are definitely winning at life if you subscribe to my Nuzzlenut newsletter, follow me on Facebook, or follow me on Instagram. Feel free to do all three. Don't forget, if you need a mantra, you can always ask for one at info@coachedandloved.com. Again, that's email info, INFO, @coachedandloved.com.